What do you like about Neighbor Guy?
I guess his transformation or his coming into his own, because he's just this collection of horrible sights and sounds and smells in the beginning, but then becomes really quite a fully formed and vulnerable and good and kind person. So, yeah, getting somebody who has sort of all that runway to experiment with and transform was a real thrill.
And I think Steve is inherently more likable from the outset, but he's also pretty quickly dismissed for being a little bit too maybe vanilla is the right word. What's your read on Steve, Jay?
Um, I'm very interested in Steve at this cultural moment, if you will allow me to put my professor hat on for a second. I think he's fascinating. I think there are so many guys who want to be the hero, who want to save somebody, who um, find their self-worth in winning, in checking the box. She had cancer. She no longer has cancer because I made a lot of freaking smoothies. That's a very convenient way to look at life. I think culturally we are programmed to look at life that way.